everybody, it's Alex Tennis. Today I'm gonna compare the Head Gravity MP Auxetic with the Head Speed MP Auxetic. Let's go. So, when I thought about this comparison, I was really shocked how those two rackets are really similar. They both have the 100 square inch head size. This one weighs 295 grams and this one weighs 300 grams. So it's basically the same thing, you know, it's a 5 grams difference. This one has a 22 millimeters beam, but it's a consistent beam. And this one has a 23 millimeters beam, so just 1 millimeters more, but both have consistent beam. The Gravity has one more cross string than the Head Speed, so this one is a 16 by 20 and this one is a 16 by 19. And if you're looking at all those specs, you're like, okay, those rackets are pretty much the same. But if you're looking at the Head CPI rating, this one is a 400 CPI and this one is a 500 CPI. So let's see, you know, what is the difference between those two rackets. Right off the bat, without having tested those rackets yet, I think that this racket is gonna provide a bit more spin than the Gravity. It should, because like the Speed is meant for spin and this one is a bit more meant for control. So this one should be less powerful than this one. Should provide less spin, and this one should be a bit easier to play. But I don't know, let's see, let's compare it. But in order to do that, we have to go on the court. Let's go. Alright, so let's start with the Head Speed MP Auxetic. So yeah, this racket creates a lot of spin, a lot of power. I have to say it has some control, but for myself, you know, personally, I have to say that it was tough to control the ball, but once you have the feel, it's pretty easy. So I think I could really adapt myself to this racket. But yeah, pretty easy racket to play with. Still a lot of spin, like I've said. I was really surprised about that. It's really fun to play with a racket that you feel like when you're grinding from the baseline that, you know, the ball is really bouncing high and it's tough for your opponent to hit the ball back. So yeah, it's tough to play against a player who has this racket. The only thing is that, you know, the touch is not that great. I feel like the racket lacks a bit of stability when you're going at the volley or even at the serve. But yeah, a pretty good racket for intermediate player or even advanced player. So it's a really well-rounded racket. So yeah, pretty nice racket. Overall, I really like this racket. Now let's switch to the Head Gravity. So yeah, this one has a lot more control. It's so much stable. Obviously, it doesn't have the same power and the spin potential, but I have to say that the spin potential is not that bad. Obviously, it's not like the Speed MP, but you know, it's okay. You won't lack any spin, but at the same time, you won't, you know, hit shot like you would with the Head Speed MP. But yeah, the part that really stood out for me is how stable the racket is and how you feel like this racket is just solid overall. You know, you have a solid feeling in the serve, in volley, in the baseline. So yeah, pretty much a solid racket, and you really feel the confidence when you're playing with it. So you know that this series is really a personal review of those rackets. I'm not that much objective, it's just my opinion, what I think of those two rackets and which one I think is the best for me or the best racket overall. And I have to say I liked both of those rackets. This one I really liked, you know, for grinding on the baseline, and this one I really liked it because it was really easy to, you know, be in the rally because it was so much stable, and when you're ready to go at the net, you can really like do a good volley and it's gonna be enough for you to win the point. And you know that I'm really used to play with control racket, so obviously I think that this one is a bit better, but you know, it's really close. So I would give the Gravity MP the win, but it doesn't mean that this racket is not good. Like, it's a really good racket, I really like how it plays, but it's just because my style of play really prefer to play with this. But I mean, like, I really recommend to try those two rackets together because like they're crazy good. Head really did a great job with the auxiliary technology. So that's it for the video. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Thanks to Racquet Volkl for giving me those demos. Without them, it would not have been possible. And see you next time. Bye bye.